It is 1 o'clock. We're going to go ahead and get started. We had several clients and state contacts ask us if we were going to be recording this session so that we could send it afterwards, and we will be doing so. So we're going to go ahead and get started and talk about an opportunity that was presented to me. And I'll be honest with you, it was at the Select USA show this year in Washington, D.C. The show actually invited us out, hosted us there, let us experience what the show was about, and it was amazing. In the 25 plus years that we've been doing trade shows, I would call it fish in a barrel. That means the people that were attending were exclusively there talking about expanding, relocating, and the opportunities that they were looking for in the U.S. And at most trade shows that we go to, you really just, it's kind of a, you're lucky. Someone to walk by, oh, I have a company, oh, you're in economic development, and you help us expand or relocate, and you catch them once in a while. But this show, every single booth reported back that they were having multiple meetings. They were swamped, and it was a really good indicator of the economy and the opportunity that shows like this present. I've been talking with Going Global, and we actually sponsored it last year and had a wonderful experience with that, and really got back some real numbers that started to make me think, if we could do, if Select USA was such a hit, what about doing a USA Pavilion at Going Global? And our guest today, Reggie, and I started brainstorming and talking about it. And I really do feel it's a perfect match, not as much as for a individual city, but for state and regional groups that can cost share and that can present a wide array of opportunities to each of the attendees. With that said, today's agenda, we're going to meet GSLI, just a brief introduction about ourselves and the speaker intro. And then we're going to talk about the Going Global show, some questions that we've had come in. And this is really intended to be an open discussion. So if you have questions, please put them in the Q&A by clicking on the Q&A at the bottom. They'll get slotted in there. And it's really a big brainstorming session on how to make this the most successful. Cresta, if you could you go ahead and put in the pull up the poll on who was at the Select USA, and really tell us about your experience. I know we attended and we had an excellent experience. And if you have there's other options if you scroll down. And we'll let that poll kind of run through for a little bit as we continue. Myself, Eric Kleinsorge, I founded GSLI 30 years ago, and with one mission: to put expanding or relocating companies in touch with experts that could assist them. And we really flipped the marketing model in terms of allowing the ED professionals not to invest their money as much into the marketing and qualifying as into the submissions and work in the projects. And the companies have come to know us, which I really appreciate, as a big, huge time saver to get in contact with the communities that can fix their problems. They have expansion needs, they have pains that they are trying to fix, and the communities are the people that can fix them. So they really appreciate our relationships with our network. And whenever I see an opportunity of fulfilling our mission that we've had for over 30 years, I really like to brainstorm and see if it can happen. Reggie, if you could introduce yourself. I've enjoyed working with you and talking with you about these shows, and tell our guests a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Thanks for the introduction, Eric. So yeah, I'm the sales director of Going Global Live. It's one of the exhibitions that falls under my remit, but we're essentially a company called Business Show Media. So we've been arranging business shows in London for the past 23 years. I've been a director at the exhibition for 22 of those 23 years. But my primary goal is to obviously drive the business forward from Going Global to the business show, not just now in London, but in LA, Singapore, and Miami. So yeah, really excited to be on this call today, and happy to answer any questions. And just let me know when you want me to give the full description of the event and what the benefits are, who's coming, and all of the trimmings really.
Absolutely. I mean, with that said, we're going to go, I mean, paint a picture in terms of what we experienced and what we saw at Select USA and at your show last year, because it was our first experience there. Paint a picture of what the show was about. Who are they going to be in touch with, and who really attends the show to come meet with the exhibitors?
No, absolutely. So look, the Go Global Live Show, I mean, it's the world's biggest B2B exhibition for expanding and relocating companies. So, the exhibition supports, God, I think we had 6,000 visitors at the last London event. So, it is a, similar as Select USA, but I'd probably say 3 or 4 times as big. But listen, the exhibition is all about supporting any business that wants to take their organization global, hence the name Going Global. We launched it 14 years ago. The next event will be the 28th edition. We used to do 2 a year. One time there was 3 a year. Now we're going to be doing 3 to 4 per year all around the globe. But look, the essence of the show is, it's kind of split down the middle. Half of the exhibitors are economic development agencies, FDI agencies, investing agencies, governments from all over the globe promoting their destinations for trade. So they're all looking for inward investment. So, they come to the exhibition to speak and educate and, support British businesses or companies that want to come into the USA. We're huge on education at Going Global Live. There's lots of things that you need to think about when taking your company global. So the other half of the exhibitors are all of the service providers that you would need to go global. So, there's market entry advisors, foreign exchange companies, international banking, global PR, global HR, global relocation companies, global mobility, everything that you would need to consider and all the red tape you need to get through to take your company global. There will be organizations there that can help you. We have foreign ports from all over the world exhibiting, but the visitors are at a phase of their business life where they want to go global. They're coming to choose the destinations and to find, what countries can incentivize them the best to go into their countries. We also have an unrivaled seminar program. I mean, Going Global Live across the world. I mean, per edition has about 300 talks taking place across 7 or 8 different theaters. There's a keynote theater. We work with the Department of International Trade, who have been part of the exhibition now for many, many, many years, and they run their own masterclass and seminar track talking about, how a UK business can go global and where they can go global too. So, it's a huge opportunity for any country, city, state, destination to formulate, an early relationship with, the fastest growing companies that are looking to go global. You're getting them at that phase of their business expansion where, they're ready to go. They just need to know where to go and how to go there. That's kind of what the exhibition's about.
Yeah, and you have a pretty key partner in place. I believe Select USA was partnered with the U.S. Department of Trade, and you are working hand in hand with what group?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I mean, listen, the UK Trade and Investment. I mean, this the British government. That's how this exhibition was born. I mean, the Going Global Live Show sits next door to another event called the Business Show, which is the world's biggest B2B event that helps expansion across, the UK or across America for the fastest growing companies that want to expand in their chosen countries. But when the UKTI exhibited in the Business Show before Going Global was born, I mean, they approached us and just said, listen, the demand at your business show is just off the charts, off the scale. They're absolutely inundated with companies asking how to go global. I mean, they always used to bring their double-decker bus with the Union Jack on it, and they had it decked out as a mini meeting stations within the bus. But the queue was just going through the whole of the exhibition. So their chairman of the UKTI at the time approached us and just said, guys, you need to do an event that helps UK companies go global. That was 14 years ago. And our relationship with the Department of International Trade used to be UKTI. I mean, we're kind of joined at the hip now. They're massive supporters of the exhibition. And like I said, they partner us wherever we go around the world. So they're a huge part of what we're doing.
Yeah, and that's in terms of the number of attendees. So there's X amount of attendees that go to the business show, and what's that number? It's
so the business show LA is 15,000 to the business show, and then you've got Going Global, 5,000 to 6,000 delegates over the course of 2 days with the current advertising and roadmap and partnerships we have in place. London, the business show is 30,000 delegates to the business show, and just over 6,500 visitors attend Going Global. So, look, the reason that they sit next to each other is because, there will be visitors to the business show that attend the business show that will also filter into the Going Global Live show. I think, we were quite amazed at the London event last year, how, not well attended Going Global was, but the amount of interest that there was from the business show audience filtering into Going Global and some of the Going Global tracks.
right. Okay. Good. And compared for those that were at Select USA, which I can't express how impressed I was with the number of meetings and sit-down meetings people had organized, was around 1,200 companies. So to compare that to 6,000, I really do think that the opportunities are there for a group if we could put it together and make a really strong presence. What kind of presence do you see from other countries? Do you currently have some that are exhibiting there and taking advantage of this audience?
I mean, absolutely. I mean, we've got, there's representation from, as far afield as Invest in Japan. We've got Botswana government, the Ethiopian government. We've got the Polish government, Barcelona City Council, La Coruña Council, the Basque region. I mean, the list goes on. In total, I believe we have just over 35 countries represented, even ports. You've got Shannon Airport in Ireland, right the way through to Gran Canaria port, or the port of Gran Canaria. The Tangier port, all of these guys that I've mentioned there, by the way, this is their 5th year with us. So, they're not new to this. These guys keep repeat booking and coming back every single year. Going Global Live London has a retention rate of around about 84%. So, these countries and exhibitors are rebooking every year, and 84% of them come back year on year. But what a real stress is that we organize quite a lot of trade shows all over the globe, and Going Global, after coming out of the pandemic, is by far the fastest growing trade show that we have on our books. I just think the world has opened up after COVID. Brexit's been and gone, but all the different new rules and regulations, the shackles are off, basically. British businesses can now trade freely wherever they want, and they're doing it in their thousands. And just to be clear, there isn't another exhibition that is in London, or even really that we know around the globe, other than Select USA in the US, doing what we do, which is what
I can be a testament to that. I'm going to say 15, 20 years ago, back in our early days, there was a show called the Expansion Relo Expo, and they weren't real successful in pulling it off. They kept trying to go into like a state like California that they thought that they could really drum up an audience and get it to go, and it didn't take off. And I was really disappointed, because I was like, that is a great opportunity to help companies go tour the world or tour the United States from one destination at a trade show. And when I saw what you guys were pulling off and what Select USA pulled off or has been pulling off, I said, I've got to pull these people together. I got to pull them together and see if we can make something happen, because I think it'd be super, super great return on investment, and just great opportunity to do what an economic developer's mission is in terms of creating jobs. So I kind of, if we can, let's dive off into what is the USA Pavilion. I understand what the show is. I'm going to pull up the prospectus. All right, can you see my screen now on the prospectus?
I can see it clear.
Okay, so in what we're specifically talking about, but I don't want to limit it to just the UK show, because there is the Los Angeles opportunity and there is the Miami opportunity. I originally envisioned the UK as a perfect opportunity because the US, a lot of states and regions, they have FDI directors that are only in charge of going to that. But you've expressed to me that those other venues will have people coming in from outside of the United States to attend those exhibits, just like the Select USA. That's correct?
Absolutely, 100%. Yeah. So, look, the goal of our US shows slightly different to our UK shows, although, the UK shows do get delegation from all over the globe attending it, in countries and chambers and embassies, but the big focus for us is, certainly for the LA show coming up on the 20th and 21st of September, is to really understand who our exhibitors want to meet. So, we have a huge delegate acquisition team. And in the background, we don't hope these shows are successful. We go above and beyond the call of duty to make sure they're successful. So, we have an army of dedicated visitor profile specialists. So, we will be inviting delegation from all over the world, trying to find the top 15, 20 businesses within, destinations and countries and cities from all over the globe, and inviting them to meet FDI agents, and FDI experts and governments from all various states in the US. So, our question would be, any organization that books into any booth within the pavilion, we're going to work really closely with you to understand who you want to meet, and we're going to go and invite them to the exhibition, and with all bells and whistles, if that makes sense.
I was going to say, if you could, because that's something you were asking me about. You were asking, hey, what is your audience? What do these states and regional groups, who are they trying to attract from? What states or what countries are they focused on? In the chat box, guys, if you could just pop in some ideas of states that would be good targets for your particular state or region that you found success with, and be more than Germany. Oh, that's a big obvious one. That's a great one. But yeah, go ahead and put those in there while we're continuing. But the thing I like about this most is the whenever I go to a trade show, if I go to a Fab Tech or some of these other shows, we do about 7 shows per year. The number of exhibitors is a massive number, so you kind of get lost. And with only 150 exhibitors to 6,000 attendees, the number of attendees per exhibitor is huge. And that to me just translates into ROI and how many meetings can be set up during the show to really fulfill the mission of business attraction. The top reasons that I've seen for for us to put this together, the panel debates, those are great because those are information in terms of what the visitors are looking for. One-stop shop, that would be my ideal, that they could come tour the United States from one pavilion and meet with several different states and really save them time from having to go to multiple locations, and showcasing your community. There's a theater that they've offered inside or within the pavilion's parameters that we want to envision and say, hey, what if we put together a 30-minute programming guide. So every 30 minutes, a different state or region gets to come up and present the benefits. And we were talking about videoing that, giving that as content to take back and put on your websites and use in your own recruitment tools, but an excellent opportunity to have a sit-down audience and really put forward your best foot in terms of showcasing why someone would want to consider your particular state. Attendee statistics, you could maybe tap into these. I was very impressed with the titles and whatnot, but it's a very high level audience. One thing that I was really impressed with also at Select USA was the number of ambassadors from other countries that were in charge of bringing these companies. So building that relationship and building those sister city relationships with our group has proven to be very valuable in terms of saying, give us a contact and we can put you in touch with multiple states. But that opportunity plus the exhibitors are there. Company size, a good mix of companies and the size of employees per company that we'd be looking for. I did see at the Select USA, I would probably say the 25 or less employees was a majority of their attendees. Seemed like there was quite a few startups, but that doesn't mean it's a bad opportunity. But that means there's the ability to infiltrate and be a company that could grow. You mentioned all the keynote speakers. I did not get them all onto this presentation, but I put a majority of them. And one of the things that I asked Reggie to do is, hey, put us together a package that is fully turnkey. So if a state needs to go and they want to bring 4 or 5 communities or delegates or 10 or whatever they want to bring, make it consistent. So that the attendees from the show will know exactly what their opportunity is, but make it turnkey. Do not allow, I've lost my booth in customs before going to Germany, and it was not fun to have invested so much in the show and not have my booth. So want to be able to have this pavilion fully turnkey so that all we do is show up and market and start to work the show. And so we have this prospectus, or I put this prospectus together to send out to any of the attendees or anybody that's interested that they can share and take a look at. And at the cost point, we were looking at comparing that to Select USA, and we were trying to say, if it was a regional group, could they divide it up between 5 people if they needed to, but keep it at a price point that was affordable and would get a good return on investment per lead that they generated. And I think they did an amazing job there. But this is the most exciting part that I see as the opportunity. And this would be the pavilion in terms of the opportunities for exhibitors. This, if you were at Select USA, would be the networking area. So the opportunity to pre-set up your appointments and have a place where you could sit down other than just your booth and set up your meetings so you can conduct multiple meetings at one time. And then the theater and have some form of entertainment or high value of entertainment with the presentations going every 30 minutes about each of the individual regions or states that are in attendance. And that theater would also, Reggie, would that theater has the chairs also, or would it be a standing room only?
No. Sorry, absolutely it has seats. Yeah, no, it's a fully functional theatre. Again, there's TV screens, there's USA branding, there's it's open plan, but yeah, there's going to be 40 seats in total. So the aim is that we fill that with 40 seats. Each seminar will be ran by a different state or region, you send us the content, we put it up on there's going to be a dedicated US Pavilion web page on our website. So, we're going to try and keep it as as a huge show feature. So, the timetable will be on there. So we'd require a picture of the speaker, a bio of the speaker, and the description of topics, so we can publish it on our website to make sure we fill it with 40 businesses that are, have a specific interest in that destination. But again, it's all turnkey. Yes, there's a big flat screen TV, there's AV, there's really well lighting, there's microphones. I mean, everything's ready. I mean, that speaker just turns up 5 minutes before the talk, plugs in their laptop to do their presentation, and is ready to go.
Perfect. Yeah, and if I attended a couple of the Select USA, I would say breakout sessions that were probably about that size, and the site selection ones were jam-packed. They were there. It was standing room only along the sides and the back, and I would anticipate filling 40 seats is going to be fairly easy with the amount of attendees and the topics that we can cover. So that's what I'm really excited about, and I really have a really nice vision of what that can be with the right participation. These are some of the drawings that have been turned back as ideas in terms of the individual areas and meeting areas, and then if you envision the networking area out here in the center, in the theater on the opposite end of the entire pavilion. I do have this presentation. These are some of the sponsors already on board. That's us. I like to spotlight us because we're a 2-year partner now. We appreciate that. These are some of the contacts, and you can either screenshot this, or if you could, I'm going to go back over to our other presentation. Oh, forgot. One of our clients had called me this morning, and they're very well. They are 100% going. They were asking about travel and housing. Could you talk a little bit about that? Because there are some logistics on that. I'm assuming if somebody's a FDI director for their state or wherever, they're very familiar with it. But what kind of opportunities are going to be there for them to have their housing secured also with such a big show?
Yeah, I mean, I mean, look, we obviously have partners for absolutely everything, from hotels to travel to housing. So, all of this can be discussed once we know who's coming, how many are coming. But of course, we've got a travel and hotel partner that we can work with really closely. We can either introduce or arrange either or. But yeah, I mean each individual state or city or destination region that books will get an individual account manager, right? So, we're trying to make this as easy as possible in terms of, booking in attending. So you get an account manager who essentially will, hold the hand of the exhibitor through the whole process. So how to organize travel, how to organize housing, how to organize hotels. The booth itself is a turnkey solution, but we will need images and gauge an idea on what they want on the walls and what to be played on the TV screens. But look, your account manager is here to help you. So each person, each company booking will get assigned a dedicated account manager to make all of the logistics of coming to our shows really easy and really simple.
One other question I have, because we found pretty good success in this also, is hosting a VIP event during the show. Well, not during the times of the show, but in the evening, like a cocktail hour or a VIP USA, or a VIP if a state wanted to host their own reception at a restaurant. Are those possibilities there, or is that considered bad conflict?
I mean, look, you can look at it a couple of ways. No, of course it's not bad conflict. No, definitely not. It's depending on what destination, just depends on what we could get done. But we, FYI, we do have an exhibitor networking party ourselves at the end of the first day of the exhibition.
Okay.
So where we allow exhibitors to network with other exhibitors, if that makes sense. Now, look, it's pretty low key, I'm not going to lie, but it's a place to come for free and have some drinks. Now, once we know what the uptake is and what the intake is on this, I think there could be a further discussion to be had, Eric, for sure, on maybe combining the two. Or if you want to have one of your own before the exhibition, it all I guess really comes down to economics and how many are getting, how many states or regions get involved in it, and the scale of it. If it's a full capacity pavilion, then there's a lot of scopes for making this work for sure.
Perfect. Okay. I think that's everything. If there's any questions or any kind of thoughts or things, please put them over there in the question and answer. Reggie, I think you did an amazing job of presenting the opportunity from what I've seen and what got me so excited about this possibility from our experience with your show and the Select USA show. So thank you for all the time you spent with our group. We're excited to be partners with you guys, and we hope that something like this could be pulled off. And I really think it would be a major thing that could be a staple year after year, that we could really build upon something really nice in terms of attracting and helping companies locate to the US. Here are some contact information. We always do these at the end of these to make it easy for you to request information. Caressa, if you could throw up, are you interested? I think it's a two-part question that'll kind of give us an idea of the global perspectives. But now that the Los Angeles and Miami show are present, if you'd like information on any of those, go ahead and in the poll, go ahead and put in there you'd like some information, and we'll have it emailed to you. We got that off of your registration, and you can coordinate through Carol or Amanda, two of our community assessment directors, in terms of getting this information to you quick, because we really need to make something happen sooner than later if we're going to pull this off in the right way. So with that said, we are 3 minutes past. I want to thank all of the cities or the states and contacts that came in and joined us for this presentation. Again, for those of you that did not or could not attend, we have a recording of this that's going to be going out to you immediately. And please feel free to reach out to us for answering any of your questions. Reggie, thank you so much. And everyone else, till we see you again on one of our Prospect Lives or one of our jam sessions, we're going to say goodbye.
Thank you very much, Eric. All the best.
Take care.